Hello everyone, my name is Trittany and I'm the reader here at the Crown and Castle Collective, where we're all kings and queens of our own kingdom that we call life. This is a monthly energetic horoscope style reading for all fire sign energies, Aries, Leos, and Sagittariuses. This could be your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or anywhere in your chart. It could also be someone that you do know and see how they're showing up if you're cross-watching for someone else, but also we're going to look at areas that these fire sign energies are showing up in their headspace, their heart space, the careers, spirituality, and just the overall energies for the month of June 2020. I really do want to thank everyone before we do get started who has subscribed to my channel, and also people who who are always leaving the comments and liking the videos and just giving that feedback. I really appreciate that, and I love to read the comments. It gives me chills to see how it's corresponding with your guys' day-to-day life. So that's really cool. If you feel, like I said, if I'm resonating for you as a reader, go ahead and subscribe. You can vote to see what videos I post next. And I'm actually on other social media platforms as well with those personalized readings. So all of that information is down in the description box. And I think without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into your guys' reading. I do feel like there is for a majority of you, fire signs energy, typically you guys are an absolute powerhouse. You're pushing through things, you're persevering, and I do see that, throughout the month of June. I feel like you're going to pick more back up. You're going to pick more of that energy back up towards the end of the month. It seems like you guys aren't the only, you're not the only element that's, kind of slowing down in the beginning of the month and kind of struggling or kind of, on the rocks in the beginning of the month. And it looks like you fire signs are actually having a really big stress or anxiety over a certain thing or a certain person. I feel like you guys are really anticipating it. You could be just getting really anxious overall throughout the month of June. I feel like you're waiting for something to happen or for someone to, come back into your life. So the overall energy though for you guys for the month of June 2020, we do have number 24, wholeness, the heart chakra card as well. Gotta make sure there's not a glare on here. Okay, perfect. So it adds up to a 6 as well, this 24 wholeness card. So I feel like your heart chakra is really activated throughout the month of June, and I feel like this anxiety is like what is, pumping your heart. Maybe you guys are having a lot of chest pains throughout June as well, but I feel like you guys are trying to find a self-fulfillment or like a sense of stillness, because your heart rate slows down when you are still, when you're at rest, when you're in meditation, you're at peace with yourself. I feel like you guys are really searching for that in June. You might be beating around the bush at first. Maybe you're not going about this in the right way at first, because I feel like you guys are really, you could be super active, you could be overly active in the beginning of the month, so make sure you're just taking it easy on yourself. And we'll get further into that actually. Excuse me. Your heart chakra, your relationships could really be highlighted throughout June. Not only your relationship with yourself, but it's with your close friends and your close family, just those who are closest around you, and how you allow for yourself to depend on them and to trust them when maybe you can't take the wheel. So it's kind of like having that really deep dependent energy that you can rely on someone but also show up for yourself in the same way. Clarifying that, your greatest accomplishment or what you're really excelling at throughout the month of June is also, your overall energy. It says inner peace. We do see two, kind of like two koi fish, I suppose, or catfishes or something like that. I'm pretty sure they're koi, sorry, catfishes. If you're not surrounded by koi, you might be by catfishes. But with this inner peace card, again, there's two fish here. So you could be dealing with a Pisces as well. It's just for some of you. But it's probably just more of that energy, that peaceful, go with the flow energy. But I'm also feeling like this inner peace is something that you're missing, maybe because of someone else. I feel like it's not just something else. I feel like you guys are dealing with another person throughout June, someone that you are waiting to return or waiting to hear from or waiting to meet, waiting for someone's feedback or waiting for someone to step up towards you and interact with you maybe. But as far with this inner peace card, it also does talk about lilies, of course. So if you know anything about lotuses or lilies, they are actually sprouted from mud from the darkest times. So this card just shows that you can find inner peace throughout even those hardest times. Peace will come from those. It's not going to be right on the surface right away. So I feel like you guys are, working towards this inner peace, but that is your greatest accomplishment. So I feel like it's a struggle for a lot of you to maybe, sit down and rest and have this inner peace with yourself and have this inner peace with coming to terms with maybe things that you can't change or things that you can't do for other people. So that could be a challenge, but the fact that you're even addressing it and, taking those baby steps towards it, Spirit's saying, that's even your greatest accomplishment, the fact that you're able to go with the flow throughout June and kind of surrender and put this trust and this wholeness into Spirit, that reliance anyways. So your greatest challenge or your greatest blockage throughout the month of June is actually trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? I feel like you guys are having some, not necessarily trust issues, but trust in the universe and trust that everything's going to play out with either you and your person or you and your situation. It's definitely something that means a lot to you, of course, with this heart chakra energy. It could be with family and with friends and people who are super close to you and that you have tremendous love and admiration for. And maybe it could even be, for your job as well. Maybe it's something that you're super passionate about, but things aren't going normally right now. Spirit's just saying to trust in that path, that things will play out, things will get better, things are going to happen on the divine timeline, okay? So it might be hard for you to accept that, and I feel like it is because you guys are filled with a lot of anxieties right now and anxiousness in the beginning of the month. And so that just might be a challenge for you as far as trusting in your path and those who are on it with you as well. Moving on into your advice from Spirit for the overall month of June, we do have within the next few weeks. So this is kind of a vague card, but it's going to play out. So it looks like when we look at the month of June, we're looking at it week by week. And I feel like that's almost what you guys are doing. You're taking things not necessarily only day by day, but week by week. I feel like a lot of you guys are overwhelming yourself or overstimulating yourself and just trying to keep yourself completely busy to avoid whatever it is that you have on your plate right now or whatever you're anticipating. You might be trying to do everything that you can in the meantime. But the advice from Spirit, as well as what energies or what vibrations can help you throughout the month of June 2020. We do have calcite. It says busy times and multitasking. And I feel like you fire signs, you're usually really good at doing that. Keeping yourself busy, keeping your flame under your butt lit, and keeping yourself multitasking and, able to move from one thing to another really quick. But this says take charge of your schedule, that within the next few weeks. Again, I said, it was kind of like I live next to a really busy road. So this says within the next few weeks, and I said you guys are kind of taking things week by week because, you're just so busy throughout the week, so it just almost even flies by. June might be really fast for you. Or, it could be really slow because you're in such anticipation. But this says, like I read, take charge of your schedule during this busy time and honestly assess your underlying reason for being busy. Y'all, I feel like this is even connected to like your overall energy. You guys are filling up your schedule so much. Just make sure that you're filling up with quality over quantity, if that makes sense, because I feel like there's just a lot going on for you guys right now internally. So we also have in your headspace, moving on to your mental space, your headspace, what's in the forefront and in the back of your mind. The first two cards, we do have the Ten of Swords the Ten of Wands and the Nine of Swords. So the Ten of Swords talks about, holding on to a barrier, having a lot to do, having a lot of stresses, and not being able to quite let them go yet. I feel like the Ten of Swords is more of a releasing, coming to terms energy, but the Ten of Wands is actually like someone who's continuing to carry that burden into that's unable to release it. I feel like for a lot of Sagittariuses, this may be the case. There's someone or something that you guys also may be losing a lot of sleep over. Maybe you're really anxious about it. Maybe you're not seeing this person again. And I feel like a lot of you guys have been separated from someone, and a lot of you just wish that you could, give them a big old hug or that the energies could be just closer to you. You guys could be, like I said, in separation, or you could be apart from family as well. Some of you, if you've lost a family member in the past as well, I feel like you're doing a lot right now, and you're being a fire sign, you're carrying all this weight, you're being really successful and pushing forward and persevering, and you're putting in a lot of hard work. But I feel like a lot of you really miss someone, and I feel like they're just not able to be there with you or see what you're doing or how you're handling things and how you're managing things. We also have, with, this Nine of Swords in reverse, we also have the Strength card in reverse. After that Ten of Swords, you guys could be really burnt out in the beginning of the month. You could be really tired. You could be really stressed about those burdens. And so you could be losing sleep. You could be losing strength. A lot of you could definitely feel a plummet in your energy and maybe in your headspace as well. Maybe you're just not on top of your game, if that makes sense. We also have, moving forward with that, it's the Queen of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. So in all of these cards too, this Ten of Swords, his head's down. And the Nine of Swords in reverse, his head's in his hands, so he can't see anything. Like I said, someone's not able to see you, but with the Strength card in reverse, it's almost like you're trying to keep yourself busy with other things, maybe things that aren't as prioritized. And with the Queen of Cups and the Page of Pentacles towards the end of the month, you're actually becoming a lot more focused because, in the middle we did have the Strength card. It is in the reverse, but she is paying attention to, the Lion, of course. So I feel like towards the end of the month, you guys are going to kind of get more back into picking things back up. It might not be, at the full pace, but with that Queen of Cups and the Page of Pentacles, again, I feel like you are really anticipating this Page of Pentacles, whatever this offer is, whatever this opportunity is, or this person or something that you're really wanting to connect with. And I feel like you guys have been out of contact with this person or this thing or this idea. Maybe you're out of being able to pursue it as well. Like you've just been carrying all these ideas and all of these passions and all of these inspirations, but you aren't able to fulfill them or do the things that you want to do right now. But Spirit's saying slowly with that Page of Pentacles, you'll be able to get more in touch with those goals, those objects, and those people. Moving on into the heart space for you guys, the love and relationships, I guess you could say as well. For the month of June, the first card that we do have is the Fool in the reverse. So things definitely aren't going, they're not really changing. They're not really changing throughout the month of June. I feel like you guys are still going to be in the same situation that maybe you found yourself in the previous months. And it's also with the King of Arrows in the reverse, Kingfisher. So this definitely is kind of like a freeze in progress. Things aren't going the speed that you want them to. Maybe you just want to skip over June, okay? I feel like a lot of you guys are looking forward to things that are happening after, and maybe, want to see how things are going to change in the next coming of months. Maybe you're feeling really restricted right now, so that's why you want things to change. But I feel like with the Fool in the reverse in the King of Arrows in the reverse, again, there's someone who's not in your life right now. Maybe someone is actually leaving you in June, or maybe you're leaving someone. There's a separation kind of energy that you guys probably haven't really talked about, or maybe you've been out of contact with a significant person for a while now. We also have the Four of Bows celebration. So this is actually in traditional tarot is actually seen as a homecoming card. It's actually seen as 1111. So this could be, you know, coming more into alignment with people who are more in alignment with your energy, okay? So towards the end of the month, you could be relaxing more with family and friends and actually enjoying yourself more, because I feel like you just didn't do anything maybe in the beginning of the month. But I feel like you just join more people also. I keep getting with that four of bows. Some of you who could be single and leaving someone, or having someone, you know, going through a breakup kind of situation, it might be a little bit hard for you at first. Maybe you don't know what to do about it. You're unsure about how to move forward from it, but it feels like you are supported, and it's almost like you're actually going to celebrate. Maybe for those of you who might be leaving a more stagnant kind of energy, you could be more satisfied with how the energies are playing out throughout the month of June, because I feel like you're going to start to see things pick up towards the end of the month. And with that four of bows, a celebration, and we also have the King of Stones, or the King of Pentacles. So I feel like you're finally able to hear from either someone that you've been waiting to hear from, or someone that you've been waiting to talk to. You're finally going to probably come back into contact with them with that page. With that King of Stones, the King of Pentacles, he's howling, so like he's actually using his voice. And with that four of bows celebration, it's like you're happy to finally hear from this person. You're happy to finally see how they're doing. And I feel like you're gonna, towards the end of the month, you're gonna have a clear idea of maybe where your relationships are going, for those of you who might, you know, be in a relationship already, with that Fool card in the reverse. And that Knight, gosh, that King of Arrows, or the King of Swords in the reverse. This is just unclarity. Maybe you're not sure about where your relationship's going, or what's actually fueling it. I'm saying, like, what is the goal in the relationship? Is it long term? Is it short term? Is it like, do you guys have the same family values? Do you guys have the same you know, are you going to consider having kids? Or you guys have the same parental values and stuff like that? And so with the four of bows, of celebration, I feel like this person is actually going to be in alignment with what you want and what you are trying to ultimately achieve. And the King of Stones is someone who can be really reliable, but it's almost like they need alone time. That King of Pentacles is like, it's a wolf and it's a pack, okay? So like, obviously he's pictured alone in this card, a lone wolf, but wolves do have packs. So your person just might need a little bit of alone time. Maybe they need to spend time with friends, or maybe you need to kind of separate yourself from that energy for a little bit as well and spend time with friends and family. Moving on into the career and finance sector for you guys for month of June 2020. The first card that we have is the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is someone who plans things out for the long run, who knows all the details, knows every part of it. You guys are really smart with what you do for your job. You're really intuitive. You're really good at speaking maybe to other clients and to customers and stuff like that. You're really proactive in whatever your career and finance is, and you really show up and you do absolute quality work. You could definitely be a superior. You could be someone who definitely carries, you know, the weight of your job or of your team, I suppose you could say. But I feel like a lot of you could be taking a step back, or you could be, you know, laid off, or you could be working from home. Maybe you've just been working less, but you're able to kind of keep your mind in the zone as well, and maybe you're trying to work from home even though you aren't working from home. And in the meantime, it feels like there's this 10 of Swords. So definitely a chaotic energy. I feel like maybe you are watching from the sidelines how things are playing out while you're away from work, and they are just absolutely chaotic, and it could be like you're glad that you're not there. But it could also be, you know, if you're not at work, it could be kind of a little stressful for you. And you could feel like there's nothing that you can do about the situation. Yeah, I feel like you're kind of just forced to watch things maybe crumble in the workplace, which is kind of unfortunate. But I feel like you were already like anticipating it to happen, and you already planned for this to happen. And maybe if things aren't running as smoothly with you out of the workplace, it's almost like maybe your job's really stressful and you're able to kind of take a step back and actually enjoy yourself more, because I feel like you have a lot of other worries on your plate right now throughout the month of June outside of the workplace. So you could just, totally be outside of this zone. Or if you're at work, your head's thinking about completely other things. We also have the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. So some of you, again, you could be not working. Things could be slowing down as well. For some of you, even your spouses could be working less or not working as much. But I feel like you guys both planned. This is the King of Swords. So we do have a King and Queen of Swords, air sign energies, Geminis, Libras, and Aquariuses. Maybe you have really good communication with one person in particular through your career or through your finances. So this could be your spouse or someone like that. And it's almost like you guys, worked on this plan together, or you planned accordingly. I feel like a lot of you maybe could have saved up money in the past, so maybe you were able to kind of stay a little bit more relaxed through the chaotic energies of June and be a little bit more even like self-indulgent during necessary times. And it's almost like with that Knight of Pentacles in the reverse and the King of Swords, I feel like it's also your energy as far as while you've been gone, you've allowed yourself to recuperate, but you already know what you're going to do when you get back to work to fix this Ten of Swords energy. Maybe you are getting really behind on all of your work, but you're able to like pick it all back up, no problem, get everything back in order. I do feel like some of you too could be talking about children as well with your finances. So maybe you're helping, your kids pay for things as well. Maybe you've saved up money to, help your kids go to college or to help fund them do things as well. And then clarifying that King of Swords, we also had the King of Wands in the reverse. So it's almost like when you get back to work, this King of Wands has a monkey on his shoulder. And it's kind of a whimsical, really cool King of Wands in this deck. But it was in the reverse with that King of Swords. So it's like when you are getting back to work, you ain't playing around. You're going to get straight to the nitty gritty. You're going to work super efficiently, and you're going to be really creative with new ideas and new ways to approach maybe old or new situations. Definitely new situations. I feel like you already have thought about it in the meantime while things have been in shambles. So you're prepared. I feel like you guys are definitely prepared, and you've been prepared, from day one. Moving on into your spirituality sector, your spiritual growth and stuff like that. The first card that we do have is the Eight of Cups. So this card talks about, taking a part of your emotions, or taking the thing that's most bothering you right now and kind of going for a walk with it and really diving deep into it, maybe even removing yourself from it completely. So I feel like some of you guys have done this as far as running off with your emotions or letting your anxiety get the best of you, because I feel like you guys have just totally tried to keep yourself busy throughout the month of June. Even if you're out of work, you've been, trying to keep yourself busy at home with what you can do when you do get back to work, or even with your hobbies or interests and stuff like that. You could just be really trying to multitask yourself with this Eight of Cups, and just be careful that you're not spreading yourself too thin, because otherwise you're not going to get progress anywhere. Also clarifying that is the Chariot in the reverse. So when things aren't moving forward, how are you handling them? When things are put on pause, and at fire signs, you're such, forward progression that when Spirit has kind of put, you know, a pause on it or a hold on it, you almost even just like kind of panic. And then you're like, well, I had all these plans, I had all these ideas, how am I going to pursue them if, you know, they're not moving anymore? So clarifying that is the Justice card, Libra. We also had Cancer out there with the Chariot in reverse, but we have a whole bunch of other signs out here. With this Justice card, you know what to do in like your headspace, but sometimes you don't always act on it, or maybe you say or do the wrong things, not intentionally, but they might come across as, you know, different. People just aren't perceiving you correctly, I feel like, during this time. So just be careful with, you know, what you say or what you do and how others are going to interpret that as well. But with that Chariot card in reverse and the Justice card, like I said, what are you doing in the meantime while things are kind of put on pause? Are you doing the things to keep you busy, like this card says? Take charge of your schedule during this busy time. And I feel like you guys definitely are doing that, but be honest and assess your underlying reason for being busy. I can't stress that enough. And also in the meantime, we have the 8 of Swords in the reverse. So I feel like a lot of the stress and anxieties that you're feeling, of course they're from the situations around you, but it's how you're allowing them to penetrate you and impact you as well. And you're able to ultimately release those ties and release those restrictions and bounds that you have placed on yourself with that 8 of Swords. Clarifying that is the Ace of Cups in the reverse. So again, this is, you know, all of those emotions that you're feeling within yourself. It's not wrong to feel those, but I feel like it's just how you're dealing with a lot of the chaotic energy or difficult situations and things that you've been anticipating. Of course, I feel like it's not in June. I feel like you guys are totally pushing yourself forward. Like, you want to skip over June for some of you. You just want to like go into July really bad. And so in the meantime, you've been kind of anxious and just maybe really emotional and maybe quick to think or act. You could be really hormonal and you could be really reactive as well with what you say or do in your headspace. We had that Queen of Cups and the Page of Pentacles. Again, people aren't going to fully perceive you correctly, so just be careful with how you're showing up in your relationships or with other people, whether that's in the workplace or, you know, your friends and your family. Well, we're going to move on into a glimpse of July of 2020. The first card that you had, the only card that you have, is number 10, Opulence. So with this number 10 card, this is actually an air sign. So I feel like you're finally going to get closer to whatever it is that you are anticipating. Maybe you're actually going to gain sight of it, but make sure that you're not... Make sure you're not chasing after this, okay? Make sure you don't just completely zoom through the month of June. Actually slow down and take your role and actually work on, you know, finding that inner peace, again, slowing down with this heart chakra, and actually speaking from a place of wholeness, of self-fulfillment, that you're not trying to chase this person or this thing that's out of your life right now that you're anticipating. Make sure you're not chasing that you forget to, you know, sit with yourself and actually be present throughout the month of June and find that inner peace within yourself and really trust that it's going to show up for you in the ways that it's necessary. And also that, you know, your path, your path was your greatest challenge, that whatever is meant to you will come to you, and then whatever is not meant to you for you, you know, will move on. So just trust that if you come into connection with anything throughout the month of June, it's meant for you. And if, you know, if you don't hear from someone or something, or don't see results from something, it's just not the right time yet. So don't let yourself be super anxious and worked up in the meantime, and make sure you're using like healthy coping mechanisms, and that you're not just trying to, you know, get through the day and numb yourself out throughout the day or throughout the month of June. Well, I hope that resonated for you, fire signs. I did want to kind of make this a little bit more of a quick video. I do have to go and spend time with family today. It's actually a holiday this weekend. So I do want to thank you guys for watching. thank you again. And if you feel like it resonated with you, go ahead and subscribe, or you can leave just a like on the video or a comment to let me know how it's resonating with you. I love to read the comments, and I love to see how it's, you know, in alignment with your day-to-day life. It's always really unique. So thank you guys again for the third time, and I will see you next time.